All right, I think that's going to do it right there. I forgot to click a thingy there. Man, I gotta pick up the pace here on my station engineering tactics here. Anyway, who else is east? Anybody else east?
That's good. KQ4 WIF. Just so happy your YouTube audio cut right back in, right before I checked it.
Yeah, very good. I wish somebody would have mentioned it earlier. I hadn't noticed. I thought I opened up everything, but it didn't go. How are you doing today, John?
Got it. Doing very well. Doing very well. Right back to the trip down south. Wonderful. Construction is really ramping up right now, so we are scrambling, making sure all our jobs are basically getting handled by our this off the hand,
You know, your signal is really, really noisy to me. Are you at your home location?
yes, yes, I am. Brand new radio, 2005.
Mike, are you copying him the same way as I am? Pretty crappy?
It's pretty good to me. In fact, he's peaking at like 10 over.
Well, I'm only getting him at 3. That's 3, I think.
Switch over to another radio. I will get it higher up eventually, but I won't take up too much of time. But checking in from Western Station 11 for RTR. I'll work on getting this thing higher up so I can get it ready.
Oh,
How's this
RTR.
radio sound?
Hold on one second. No wonder it was bad. There was 2 stations, and neither one knew the other one was talking. I had John, KQ4WIF, and then I also had N4RTR. So I was John, go again ahead, please, again.
Yeah, this is a second radio. How's this here sound?
No, it's a little noisy to me, but you've got a good audio. I mean, you've got a good signal.
Well, I'm going to divert a lot of that to the old daycare waves. No antennas in the yard, everything's in the attic. Yeah, glad you had a good trip. This week I was in Dallas. I'm out in Dallas quite often. I went to ham radio outlet warehouse. Oh, and I was a bad boy.
Yeah, I'll bet. It's hard. It's hard not to go to any place that's got ham gear and walk away empty-handed.
Oh, yes, and they have a return center there that everything's checked out and inspected. They go and play for the fully functional. And still stuff. See what I got to do. Brand new guarantee, 150. Brand new band for 2025. Open box. Never been programmed. And for the whole company.
Sounds like a good deal.
Oh, yeah. Happy to play. Upgrade my PR material.
Well, very good. Anything else for the net?
No, I'm all good. All good. This is here for while you're gone, so welcome back.
Yeah, very good. Very good, John. Hope you got here again with a little better signal. At the other station, at November 4 Romeo, I believe it's Romeo Tango Romeo, right?
Yes, sir. Good evening. November 4, Romeo Tango Romeo, and I know I'm going to get a little abrasiveness for this, but that's November 4 Roll Tide Roll. For other phonetics, the name's West with the SS Sierra. Newer member here. But, Western Station, Lebanon, like I said, antenna situation is less than ideal, but trying to regularly start to check into the net here, and that's about it to put the Reader's Digest on it, back to net control.
Very good. Where your QRZ? I forgot where you are, but your QRZ station says you're somewhere else.
Oh, I tried to update that. It may say that I'm still in Madison, Alabama. It should have updated to 11 and 16. Maybe that's what that's. Oh, I think I need to update that to 17. Yes, sir. I'm out here. Matter of fact, pretty close to the other West that's up in Possum County as well.
Yes, that's right. I should have remembered that. Well, very good, Wes. I'm glad you're in there, and your signal sounds pretty good today. It was just you guys had doubled, and you couldn't hear each other apparently. But anyway, I was going to mention something else about that. I don't know what it was. About the roll tide. Listen, it doesn't matter. Everybody who loves it, everybody who's in the South, well, I think everybody is at least in love with anybody in the SEC.
That's good enough. I mean, I think I told a few people I moved up here recently from Alabama, so it is what it is. But yes, sir, just going to check in hopefully regularly now, and that's about it. I'll catch you back to y'all so we can have more check-ins. Thank you, Net Control, November 4, Radio Tango Radio.
Very good. That's West, November 4, Romeo Tango Radio and Romeo. I would say Romeo Tango Romeo. Getting me all messed up here. I try to stay with the standard phonetics, and he's over in Lebanon. And yeah, no, I don't think anybody minds it says roll tide roll. Although you may have some arguments from other people, but not from me. Who else is east or north?
K4TNR, Kevin and Bethpage.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I hadn't checked in a while. Hadn't had a radio. I sold it to a new ham, so it took me a little longer to get a radio, but I finally have a new base station.
Oh, great. Anything big and special or brand new?
Oh no, it's just Kenwood TM281. I think it is.
Oh yeah, nice radio. I'm sure it would be fine. Those Kenwood makes fine radio.
Yeah, I'm just glad I can check into the Macon County net now. Couldn't get it from my vehicle, so it's nice to be able to check in. So I thought I'd test it out here on some Simplex, and apparently I'm getting in.
Oh, you're getting in real fine, real fine. I don't know if you're on that web, but you can hear it. You're real, almost quiet, but you're real good signal and real good audio.
Well, nice. Well, I'll let you get back to it, and hopefully I'll check in more often. And have a great day, Paul. K4TNR, back to Net Control.
Very good. That was Kilo 4 Tango November K14. Yeah, Tango November Romeo. Kevin, and he's in Bethpage. Who else is north?
WB0 Mark in Northwest Wilson.
Man, were you purposely overdriving your mic there?
Oh no, was I overdriving it?
It seems to, yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a different radio. I haven't used it in a while, so I probably need to go set it up. But anyway, I'm here.
very, very good. Anything going good for you in your neck of the woods?
Oh yeah, we've had it was kind of a milestone birthday for my wife, so we had her kids come in from upstate New York. So we've had a house full here for a week.
You told me before. Where are they from in New York?
They're in Albany.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's really I don't know what you call Albany. I never thought of that as upstate because I lived in Western New York, and I always assumed they were in Eastern New York.
Well, I guess technically they're not Albany. They're Rotterdam.
Oh, I'd have to look that up. I don't remember where Rotterdam is. Is that south of Albany?
No, I think it's a little north and west. Schenectady, Rotterdam. I mean, it all runs together up there.
Oh yeah, I've been there, but it's been ages since when I was a kid. We used to travel through there and had been visiting people in Schenectady, and I love the name of that town. I don't know where it came from. It must be an Indian name.
Yeah, every time I mail them something, I have one heck of a time figuring out how to spell it.
Yeah, just leave the name off, put the zip code.
Exactly. All right, nothing else for the net.
Very good. That's Mark, Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar, and he's up on the beach, near the beach anyway, in the Cumberland, northwest Mount Juliet, northwest, excuse me, Wilson County. Who else is north?
KB9 RKK.
Hello, Frank. You doing all right?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Mouth still sore. Had to go to the dentist.
How was it the dentist as well today? Had one of those teeth cleaning with the ultrasound Nazi torture method.
Yeah.
No, I think the water hurts more than the mouth, though.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things you got to suffer through, both of them.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do a crown. This is the last thing. I did a lot of stuff over the years, and then she's in there and she's like, oh, need a root canal. I'm like, oh man, they were gonna reschedule it, but she was able to do it all today.
Yeah, I have been through a few root canals myself, and I had one that was horrible, but the rest were just fine, no problem at all.
Yeah, I just felt my wallet go down some more. But yeah, anything. Anyway, I did that. You were talking about Klingman's Dome there. I did that 22 years ago and 21 years ago. Yeah, it was. We went there twice, 2 years in a row.
Well, it is a good view if the sky's clear.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was. I mean, we went there and they were like, oh well, we have to bring more people here. So then we went and did it again.
Well, we were there. I forget whether it was Saturday or Sunday. This past weekend, and there was ice up on the roadways and in the shadowy areas on the forest, and there was also ice on that walkway going up to the concrete viewing area.
Oh wow, yeah. Both times we went was in October. Yeah. So no, I never. Yeah, I guess it would be because it's still because you're up at higher elevation there.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I mean, it was a nice weather. It really wasn't like it was freezing or anything. It's just that the ground and the ice was probably thick enough that it stayed around for a while.
Well, I remember like down in the town, it was maybe like upper 50s, and by the time you went up there, it might have even been 60s. By the time I went up there, it was definitely chillier.
Yeah, but it's a great view though. I would tell anybody to go because it really is pretty.
Oh yeah, no, I like that whole area. Yeah, I don't have a job up there, so I can't stay there. But anyway, I got done. Thanks for doing that. I'm glad I was able to make it. So turning back over to you, KB9RKK.
Yep, that was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo Kilo Kilo. He's in northwest Mount Juliet. But as far as you can go northwest without jumping over the line into Davidson County. Who else is west? Or north, I mean.
Kilo Quebec 4, Oscar Mike India, Dan in Hendersonville.
Hey, Dan. Are you doing okay up in Hendersonville?
Doing real good over here. Probably about the same as you, though.
I'm sure it's the same. I was Hendersonville because of the lake there. It seems like the other side of the world to me because you can't get there easily.
45-minute drive or a 5-minute swim.
Yeah. Now, if I had one of those cigarette boats, I could be there in just a few minutes.
Yeah. I've got a little boat, but it'd probably take me 10.
No, it's just funny how I would like to have seen that river before they flooded. Made it into a big lake.
Yeah, but it would just be there along the cliffs there, well, not really cliffs, but along the bluffs there on Mount Juliet is all it would be.
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I've never seen any pictures of it before then.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been very much, and then I'm on Drake's Creek here, so that's just been a little creek and a couple miles, or probably a mile to the river.
Huh. Yeah, no, it's a neat thing. I mean, I grew up in such a different environment than this. I lived on just a quarter mile from the Niagara River. All the water from the Great Lakes was always flowing down the end of my street. And I never thought about any issues about damming and water or availability of water. It was always there.
I grew up in San Diego, but we always went on vacation in Sodas Bay. I'm sure you know where that is.
Gosh, the name rings a bell. Oh, Sodas Bay. No, I'm not sure where that is. I know the name, I just don't know where it is.
Halfway between Rochester and Syracuse on Lake Ontario, just north of Seneca Lake.
Okay, I know where you're talking about now. I forgot that was the name of that up there. Yeah, up on Lake Ontario is quite the. As you know, it's if you're on Lake Ontario, most people wouldn't know it's a lake; they think it's the ocean.
Yeah, Dad had bought a cabin on an island out there, just a fisherman's cabin. And then by the time we sold it, all the millionaires had moved there. And they had all these huge places, and we had a little cabin.
And probably sold it for a small fortune.
Yeah, more like a large fortune.
Okay, yeah, I'll bet. No, there's a lot of. In fact, you can still buy property right there on the lake in Niagara County, and I think Monroe County is just east of that. I think it is. I don't remember now. But anyway, you can still. It's not unbelievable. It's just. It's not. It's. In other words, you can't be poured by it.
Yeah, I think it's cheaper than Hendersonville now, though.
Oh, I'm confident it is. Yeah, this whole area of Middle Tennessee has gone insane, and I don't know. I don't know what to say about it other than I don't know what a person does who has two. You get married and uh, like I did when I had no money and it was making minimum wage. I lived in a trailer and I was living hand to mouth. That's what you'd have to do here.
Yeah, I probably have to live in mom's basement nowadays.
Yeah, my mom would charge me rent.
No doubt.
Anything good else for the net, Dan?
No, I just found this net last week and kind of fun.
Oh yeah, no. So again, one of the things that I purposefully, when I started this 10.5 years ago, I purposely said, okay, it's not going to be a formal net. It's going to be whatever subject you want to bring up, or if you got an announcement, or you got a question, or you got a, as long as it's not the Gettysburg Address, we're good.
Yeah, and I don't like the nets where you just check in and everybody goes away.
No, hopefully we make it. The reason I think it's good to do this way isn't just because I like it. I believe that ham radio and it brings people together, and it's hard to bring people together anywhere unless they know each other and they kind of get a feel for who they are and where they are and what they are, and and they feel comfortable with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to be friendly with people once you say, yeah, you've been on that net. I know you. Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah, I agree. Well, hey, I won't have that anymore, so I'll give it back to you.
Very good. That's Dan, and he is in Hendersonville, Kilo, Quebec 4, Oscar, Mike, India. And I appreciate you being here. Your first time check-in was last night while I was gone. Who else is north?
Katie Ford, Dylan, and Danny, Station Camp.
Did you change your antenna or something? You're a little hazy today. How you doing?
No, I guess it's just weather. A little late, but anyway.
Yeah, but you're doing all right? You get the house all finished, wrapped up?
I'm actually in the back bedroom laying flooring right now. I just looked at the watch and said, I'm missing the net.
What kind of flooring you putting down?
3/4 tongue and groove.
Oh, real wood?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I often wondered whether that was the reason that I think wood is bad is for the obvious reason if there's water issues. And I don't know if it's any better with that synthetic stuff or not.
Probably, but we put it down at work, and the groove, it makes the groove come loose if there's water too. So, it's whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Did you get a deal on that flooring? Because it's pretty pricey.
No, it was about $900 and something. It was 13 to 13 rooms.
Wow, $900. I think I would have done what my dad would have done. He would have just painted the floor.
Yeah, oh well. Well, it's just that room and the room I'm in right now is left and not having hardwood down. Everything else in the house has got hardwood. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really neat. Again, it kind of blows my mind because I'm not young, but when I think about $900 for one room and a floor, I always my point of reference is the fact that my first car was $25, but you're putting down a floor that's $900.
Right, and it still has to be sanded and stoned and polished too, But you probably put $300, $400, $500 in some good carpet if you was going to do that. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, anything. Besides, you do want to put down good stuff. I mean, I learned a long time ago that trying to be cheap, thinking you can get the same quality, never works ever.
Oh no. Well, except for the new part, the rest of the house has been here for 30 years. It's just, we had carpet in here.
Now, the rest of the house you said is now wood?
Yeah, it's a hardwood too. So, the hall, the kitchen, and Sherry's office, and let's see, the living room, I put that down 30 years ago.
Oh, awesome. That's great. Yeah, the problem with carpet is that it's carpet. It wears out, and it gets to be, if it gets wet at all, it gets to be problematic. Carpet's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, you do not even phantom how much dirt goes through till you pull carpet up and see how dirty the floor is underneath it.
Oh, it looks like hell is what it looks like when you do this.
It looks like you're walking on bare ground.
It does. You're right. Anyway, I won't bore you with. I saw some carpet get ripped up in the hospital rooms, and the carpet was it was commercial carpet, but it got torn up to be replaced, and they used, I don't remember if it was just water or it was another solvent they used. And when they ripped it up and they were dragging it out, it was all of it was just the water was pouring out of the carpet. It was just a brown, it was milky brown, ugly, disgusting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, everything else okay?
Oh, yeah. You know, I took off this week to try to get some of this stuff done, so I'm falling behind. But anyway, well, I'll catch you on the next one.
All right, very good. That was Danny. He's in station camp, Kilo Delta 4 Golf Oscar November. And for anybody that doesn't know, like me, that's up near Cottontown. Who else is north?
November 8th, November Hotel Tango.
Well, you got a big signal there, Hayes.
Oh, thank you. It's only about 5 watts. Right now I'm running. Yeah, I heard that guy, KQ4 OMI, that guy was booming, and I looked, he's just a stone's throw from me. He don't live far away at all.
Oh, cool. How you been doing?
Oh, pretty good. I just been messing around in the garden a lot, like planting all kinds of stuff, fruit trees, and just it's spring. I'm trying to make the yard bountiful, you know.
Oh yeah, I was out. I did a major mowing today. It wasn't just mowing the onions, you know. It was mowing grass, and I was remarking again that, you know, I've got like 13 trees on my property.
You said 13 trees?
Yeah, I got, well, quickly said, I got an oak, a maple, a big maple, Japanese maple, two other forms of maple. I don't know which. One's a sugar maple, I think. I'm not sure. And then I got like 6 cottonwoods and and oh my gosh, and another maple. I forgot about that one. And there's another one. I forgot the name of it. But there's like 9 of them. I'm 13. Excuse me.
Hey, Roger, I got hackberry trees. I don't like those. I'd like to get them. They're shade in the garden, but I put in, you know, some pawpaws, a cherry tree. I put in a persimmons. I got a pomegranate, a fig. Let's see, a medlar tree. I'm just trying to make stuff to do a bunch of fruit. And some of the trees I'm not crazy about the hackberry trees. They drop a bunch of stuff and drop branches and shade the garden up, you know.
I don't know. They all have their purpose, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And every, you know, probably feeding wildlife or whatever. But I don't know. It's like somebody just let those grow, and they grew up all over the fence. Before I bought the house, it was rented for a long time, so I don't think anybody cared that much.
Yeah, well, I understand all that. I remember when we first moved into our home when I was a child, and I don't know what point because I don't recall the year, but I remember there being a cherry tree, and it was right next to the driveway. And my dad says, I'm not going to have, you know, he more or less said, I'm not going to have cherry droppings on the car every season.
Yeah, I've heard of mulberries too. The birds eat mulberries and then poop purple poop, and it goes all over the car or whatever. But yeah, I kind of figure make the yard, make the lawn work for you, and it's nice to not have to, when you go to the grocery store, not have to buy any fruits or vegetables. You know, if you can grow as much as your own stuff. But that's kind of what I'm going for. I figure I'm going to live long enough to see those trees have fruit and all that stuff. But anyways, hey, Paul, nice to hear you again. Glad you had fun in Florida and everything. K4PW, this is N8NHT. Hayes. I'll say back to that.
Very good. That was Hayes in Hendersonville, November 8, November Hotel Tango. My wife, who had not been, which I had been down in Alabama, but we had gone to, she said, we're going to stop at Buc-ee's. And man, she was as shocked as anybody else was when you walk into a Buc-ee's. It was funny because you go, and it was busy because I don't remember why it was so busy. We left on I know why, because it was a Friday. And everybody was traveling. And that place looked like they were giving away food. But man, it was really busy. It was fun. And even the Buc-ee's character was there, you know, like the guy in a costume of Buc-ee's. My wife had to get a picture with Buc-ee.
That place is awesome. When I lived in Texas, they had one in New Braunfels. Back when Buc-ee's was only a Texas thing. I moved here about 8 years ago. Lived in San Antonio before that for 4 years. But I'd always take people to see Buc-ee's Buc-ee's because that 100 pump gas station it was something new back then. There wasn't Buc-ee's everywhere.
Well, I remarked again, at least the first time I said it to myself, the second time was with my wife, and I said, try to imagine that you and I got together, and we never heard of a Buc-ee's before. And we said, you know what we ought to do is build a place on the interstate, adjacent to interstates, that has 40 gas pumps, the longest car wash on the planet, and it has every imaginable knick-knack and food in there, candy, and you'd go, nah, that sounds stupid.
Yeah, so the place is awesome. And I like the beaver, too.
No, it's pretty cool. And they have some good food. They really do have some good food. But, yeah, it was packed when we were there. It was amazing. It really was. Anyway, again, that was Hayes, November 8, November Hotel Tango in Hendersonville. Who else is north?
Kilo, November 4, Echo, Romeo, India, Eric in Goodlettsville.
Hello, Eric. Did you survive without me?
Yeah, I did. He was touch and go, but Michael did a great job.
Oh, he always does. I can count on him a lot. He's a good man. He's, as they say, he's hell when he's well, but when he stays sick so much.
Yeah, he did a great job. And all the times he was, doing the nets when he was feeling super crazy rough. That's pretty awesome. He made it through.
Oh yeah, he would do fine. And then good on you. I am at some point. I still, like I said, I'm really recovering from that trip. It sounds crazy, but it's true. But I've got that GMRS antenna sitting on the garage here, waiting to go up.
All right, cool. Yeah, let us know when you get it fired up. I've done some GMRS and even done some Simplex. I have to look at my sheet, but there's a couple of people I talked to. I think one was in White House that was really close, and I talked to Danny a little bit out there as well. So I think it'll work.
How many? I think Danny told me. I don't recall now, but have you heard any of the nets that he's been on? How many check-ins they're doing?
I don't know how many check-ins. You can ask Danny. You probably know, but I have listened to a couple. But it's like right at the same time this net's on. I think it was on Saturday, so I turned it on for a little bit. But I switched over to this one. So I don't know, but they do some Simplex stuff too, supposedly.
Yeah, so I hear. See, they're not committed to the two nets a week routine like us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not as good as that.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. You know what my ruling was. We were the only net in the country that gives hams 2 times a week to miss the net.
That's it. Absolutely. Well, I'll send it back to you and let you continue on. But glad you're back and glad you had a good vacation there. Back to net. KN4EOI.
Yep, still in recovery. K4PEW here, and that was Eric, Kilo November 4, Echo, Romeo, India, and he's in Goodlettsville. Who else is north?
84 VUW calling Angel Sound Website.
Hello, Carlin. What's up with you?
And that much. Sitting around the house a little bit today. First part of the day, I had to go to a funeral out at White House. My mother's sister-in-law passed away. Her husband passed away about 6 years ago, and she fell and broke a hip and ended up in a nursing home, and she went downhill from that. So I don't know. It was just kind of a sad situation.
Well, it always is. No matter, it's funny. I've learned over the years, no matter how infrequent you see somebody, a relative or a remote person, that you haven't seen in a while, it's always a shock to the system to know somebody passed away.
Well, when I heard who it was, I thought, well, I just hated to hear it. I wasn't shocked. I just thought, well, that's just another one of them in the family that's gone, Say my mother had 25 brothers and sisters, so, and her husband was one of the younger brothers that passed away. I think right now there is a sister-in-law left now out of all of them.
Oh, wow. She really had 25 brothers and sisters from the same mother and father?
Yep, sure did. Big family. Raised around Robinson and Sumner County.
Wow. I had a couple of relatives from 2 generations ago, and my mother's side of the family that lived in the country, and they also had, I well, 20 something. I'd have to look at the count again. They both had, but one of them was two different wives because the one wife passed away, and another one was they had like 20 something. And you go, wow. But again, when you have a farm and you're growing all you need, it can be a great thing.
Yeah, they had a big farm over there, and they raised pretty much everything. Yeah, they didn't really have to go. I think they went to the store, got coffee and cigarettes. Some of them smoked. A whole bunch of them that didn't, but there was a handful of them that smoked. So they would buy cigarettes. And matter of fact, I remember the youngest one. He bought a little old machine that would actually make the cigarettes. I remember that back when I was a kid. He was showing it. So he could put his tobacco up in there, and you just crack a little handle around, and it'd roll out cigarettes. He could roll them out as fast as he could feed the tobacco in the thing. Well, so, but I don't know. It was just she was buried right there at the foot of another of my mother's sister's husband that got killed in a car wreck back in '62, and I got to look walking around out there in the graveyard. It's a graveyard over in the middle of White House, and I walked around looking at all of them that's buried out there, and I think, well, the sizable bunch of them buried here now, so I don't know. Anyhow, how's things going with you?
Well, like I said, I'm recovering from my whirlwind 8 or 9 day trip to Florida and over to East Tennessee. But it was all good, though. We had a good time.
Well, that's good. So, well, I guess I'll hook up. I'll turn it back over to you and let you get some more check-ins there, Paul. So you're sounding good up here. Hello to everybody else out there. I hope they're all having a good night tonight. So, with that said, Katie4BW, turn it back over to Net Control.
Very good. That was Carlin. He's in Bethpage, Angeltown area. Kilo Delta 4, Victor, Uniform Whiskey. Big signal here tonight. Who else is north? Over to the west.
KG4 ILV.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was going to say I got all night. So,
on your trip.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty uneventful. Aside from the usual arguing I do about the wife about my driving.
Oh yeah, well, if you didn't, what fun would that be?
It wouldn't be any fun at all. Besides, getting directions in areas you rarely get to or you don't know at all, even with the help of one of those Garmin's, doesn't always work. I mean, sometimes that Garmin would say, "Okay, hang right here," and you go, "I'm already past right here."
Yeah, exactly. I live in the old days. You get directions. They go, "Yeah, where that big old turn left where that big old modern used to be."
Yeah, that's right. Well, we used to remember. When I was in sales back in the '80s in Florida. Man, my glove compartment was stacked full of maps.
Oh yeah, I love maps. Anyway, I'll not hold it up. I'll let you go. I've been putting my garden in for the last 2 days. It just about killed me. I decided today I'm going to stay inside, but I worked myself to death doing housework today.
Oh, wow. Well, you got everything planted that you wanted to plant?
Yeah, pretty much. I just need to, I got about half of it mulched. I need to mulch the other half. That's all I need.
Oh, cool. Well, very good. I'm glad to hear it. Did you grow kale again this year?
Did I grow what?
Kale.
Oh, no, I didn't grow kale. I got tomatoes and peppers mostly and okra and stuff like that. But I was going to tell Hayes he may be eating fruit in about 5 years because some of those new fruit trees put on fruit right away.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't sure about which ones are which because I'm no farmer in that regard. Well, very good. Good to have you in there, Jack. That was Jack. He's in north, he's in Davidson County. I'm going to leave it at that. I get so tired of calling him from Donaldson. Sounds like a foreign country. Kilo Golf 4 India Lima Victor. Who else is west?
Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Hello, Mr. Greg. What's up?
Good evening, Paul and Annette, whoever she is. This is Greg, the voice of Antioch.
Very good. You surviving down there?
Yeah, I'm Antioch ready all times.
Oh, and Antioch strong, I believe.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I saw that in another town too. It was like whatever, I forget where it was, but it just cracks me up every time I see that.
Ready infers that I'm also armed.
Yeah, of course it does. I felt empty when I flew down to Florida because I couldn't take my handgun with me.
You could have. You have to do it right.
Well, you can do it, but you got to notify the airlines. You got to put it in the locked box. You got to put it in your luggage, and I always figured it get stolen anyway.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's all good because Florida is obviously it's an open carry state, or they reciprocate with everybody else, and it's a real good state for that.
Yeah, I would think Florida would be.
My highlight of my trip in St. Augustine, not the highlight, but one of the interesting parts of the trip. Have you ever been in a Winn-Dixie store, grocery store?
Oh yeah, we have one 2 miles up the road. It was a family favorite, particularly my grandmother.
Well, this Winn-Dixie in St. Augustine, it looked like it hadn't been updated in a while, and I felt like I was going back in time about 20 years.
I didn't know there were any that even still existed. Maybe there's a Zara across the road. You remember those?
Yes, I do. The Zara was an anchor store in one of the malls we had in Tampa when I first moved there back in the early 70s.
Yeah, that was we did a lot of shopping there.
No, Zara was a good store. It's amazing that some of the stores that used to be that just went out of business. They couldn't compete, I guess.
Some of my going back to school memories was we always went to Zara, and that's where we got our school supplies and our binders and our pencils and all that, and our new clothes, and it was just a great day.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. You felt special because your parents were spending a bunch of money on you.
Yeah, but not that much. That's why they went to Zara.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just funny though that even when I think some of the people on that wouldn't understand W.T. Grant or not. There was another one. I don't know if it was nationwide. Did you ever hear of a Neisner's store? It was a 5 and dime Neisner's.
Don't know that.
No, it was like all of the 5 and dimes of that era from the early part of the 20th century, I think. And there were still a couple around in my town, but it was really funny how they were when you look back, those were really the dollar stores of today.
Yeah, the 5 and dime near me was called Kresge, which is the K in Kmart.
Yes, Kresge was a regular store. There was one in my hometown too. It's just funny how things do change, and all through competition. I mean, look Amazon's driven almost all. I was at that little Providence Mall today, and I couldn't help but think everybody's going to be driven out of these stores just by these big, huge online retailers.
Basically, yeah. Well, anyway, this is so uninteresting. K4CV.
Nah, it's interesting to somebody. That was Greg. He is Antioch Strong, Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else is West?
Antioch ready.
What did I say?
It's strong. It's ready.
Oh, boy. So it's not strong too. All right. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Who else? And that was Greg. Who else is West? Anybody else West? Anybody South?
Kilo India 4, November Delta, November.
Hello, David. Long time no hear. How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Paul. I'm doing very well, sir. Interested in your trip there. How far did you go down south?
Oh, I just went to St. Augustine. Well, I went to Orlando and then drove up to St. Augustine. And it's kind of a thrill in St. Augustine because it's literally just a little town with attractions if you've ever been. I mean, kind of neat stuff. It's not like Gatlinburg kind of upsets me because it looks like a Disney. It looks like I just I hit the jackpot going to the state fair.
Yeah, it is St. Augustine. Is that the great place there?
No, St. Augustine is the oldest city supposedly in the country, and it's got a big old Spanish fort from 1650 or something like that. And it's got a lot of nice old buildings there that are original, and some are just made nicely. And there's a lot of shops, and a lot of the places in town are kept nice, in the old style from the 1700s, 1800s. And it's just a nice place. It's a very quiet little city.
Okay, very good. And I did hear you speak about that Franklin Stone. I've been there and done that. I remember it was always cold when I went there, and by the time I walked up that big long walk up to that monument back in there, man, I was frozen to death. That's for sure.
Well, I was about halfway up. I was saying maybe this isn't such a good idea, but no, I did it okay. It was you have to be ready. You have to, if you're not up to it, you do have to stop and rest for a few minutes because I had my watch on, the one that records heart rate and that kind of stuff, and my heart rate got up to about 136 during the trek.
Yes, sir. I know it was back when I did that. I was in pretty good shape back then. It was kind of rough on me then, but it was a long, slow incline up. And it seemed like it took forever to get up there.
Yeah, well, it was funny because it was almost seemed like a joke of the day. It was I'd ask somebody how much further. You go, yeah, you're about halfway there. And then another 10 minutes, I asked somebody, oh, you're about halfway there. No matter what I said, they said halfway.
Yes, sir. I know that. I tell you, I'd love to do it again. That's for sure. I'm glad you made a safe trip, and I hope you enjoyed the trip. I'm glad you're back, sir, and glad to hear you on there doing what you do. Thank you for what you do, Mr. Ball.
Very good, David. David's in Reedyville. He's got a good signal from 35 miles or so, I think it was. Kilo India 4 November, Delta November. He was one of the early supporters of the net. Seems hard to believe. That's almost, well, it is 10 and a half years ago. We started in September of 2014. Who else is or south? Hello, Larry. You been doing all right? Very good. That's Larry. He is in Rockville. Full copy, a little rough, but still good copy. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Who else is south? Nobody else south? All right, last chance. Or maybe second to last chance. All right, then we're going to be calling for all dilly-dalliers, spudlers, landlubbers, sandbaggers, lollygaggers, lurkers, skulkers, slackers, lackeys, toadies, lackards, repeater kachunkers, shape-shifting lizard people. I've got poor lighting conditions. I can't read them all. Moon landing deniers, people believe moon is occupied by aliens, or the back of the moon is occupied by foreign nations. Also flat earthers, flat earth deniers, scanner listeners, SDR donglers, preppers, and of course the end time survivalists. Did I say preppers? Yes, I did, preppers. And then there's serious preppers, the ones that are off the grid and they're always on solar, I guess. Anyway, anybody else out there? Well, I was hoping that would bring Scott down in Laverne out of the woodwork, but it didn't show up. Anybody else before we go on to 446, 415? Well, very good. We had 18 tonight, which is kind of semi-normal for, it varies on a Wednesday night from somewhere between 17 and 20 something. But everybody who shows up is important. And I'm going to switch over to 446, 415. I'll see you there. This is Kilo 4 Papa Echo Whiskey with the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net here on 70 centimeters. Looking for check-ins from we'll just start from the east.
KM4YRF.
Very good. We got Michael, KM4YRF. Who else is out there? From the east. Anybody? Kevin, you didn't hang around? All right, we're going to go over to the north.
KD4G1.
Ah, very big signal from you there. You sound as good on the 70 centimeters. You're doing 2 meters there, Danny.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Very good. Who else? That was Danny, KD4GON. Up at Station Camp. Who else is north? Over to the west.
KG4ILV.
KG4ILV. Sound great. Jack. Who else? That's Jack in Davidson County. Who else is west?
KM4ERI. I missed the north. I wasn't quick enough.
Oh, that's right. We don't really stand on principle very much around here. That was Eric, Kilo November 4 Echo Romeo India in Goodlettsville. Who else? That's really picket fencing, whoever that was. You copying that, Mike?
KD4VEW.
Kilo Delta 4 what?
That's the Carlin.
Oh, it was VUW. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you said. I thought you said VDW or something like that. Anyway, we got Carlin. Rough copy on that. Like I said, picket fencing on Carlin. Were you copying him, Mike?
Yeah, real well.
No, I had him picket fencing. I guess I
Okay,
got
Carl, they got you checked in.
very good. I'll take down my picket fence. That was Kilo Delta 4 Victor Uniform Whiskey. It's a Carlin up in Angeltown, Bethpage. Who else is north?
WB0
Very good. Everybody's stepping in late. How you doing there, Mark?
Doing all right. I turned my mic gain down. Is that better?
Oh, it's near perfect.
Okay. Very good. Nothing else for that.
Very good. That's Mark up by the beach. Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar. Who else is north or west? Nobody else north or west? How about south? Nobody south? Nobody anywhere else?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Very good. You're Antioch ready.
Yes.
Very good. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. And that's, of course, Greg in Antioch. Anybody else? Please come now before I move over. Pretty typical net. We had about 8 there. Normally it's 8 or 9, I think. Last chance before I move over to 10 meters. Anybody, anywhere, please go now. All righty, we're going over to 28.415. 28.415, we'll see you there.
Somebody's calling.
All right, anybody can hear that? Nobody can hear that besides you, Greg? Greg. Nobody besides you, Danny?
Well, you keyed on top of him. It's Kilo Echo 4 or go again. Oscar Mike India.
Oh, very good. He was in there earlier. Oscar Mike India. Very good. And he is, Dan is in, man, I forget where he is already. Oh, he's up in Hendersonville, isn't he?
You're in Hendersonville, he's got you checked in. He's got you checked in. We're going to 10 meters now. Go ahead, Paul.
Very good. We got him checked in. That's Kilo Echo 4 Oscar Mike India, and that's Dan, and he's in Hendersonville. This is his second net he's checked into. I'm glad to have him here. We're going over to 28.415 unless somebody screams. All right, that's where I'm headed. 28.415, upper side band. We'll see you there. All righty, this is K4 PEW on 10 meters here. 28.415. Looking for check-ins from any place, anywhere.
KM4, wow.
All right, we got Mike, KM4YRF. Who else?
KD4, Juliet.
All right, we got Danny in there. Kilo Delta 4 Golf, Oscar November. Anybody else?
KD4, WB0
Very good. I got 2 or 3 in there, but about Kilo Golf 4 Indy Lima Victor, and I got Whiskey Bravo 0 November Oscar, both with good signals. Who else was in there?
November Hotel Medical.
Very good. Got 2 on that one as well. I've got November 8, November Hotel Tango, Hayes in Hendersonville, and Eric, which is, how could I forget it's called? KN4 ERI. That's right, KN4 ERI. Eric in Goodlettsville. Anybody else?
Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo.
Very good. We got Greg in there. Kilo Delta 4 Charlie Victor Echo. Anybody else?
Kilo Quebec 4 Oscar Mike India.
Very good. Very good. Kilo Quebec 4 Oscar Mike India. Which antenna do you use over there, Dan? Dan, which antenna are you using on 10 meters?
Hey, Dan. Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Paul was asking something about what you use on 10 meters. You know, I've got a jack-eye pole with a dipole right now, and it's about 30 feet in the air, so that might be the problem.
Yeah, if it's a wire, because mine is a vertical, big vertical.
Can you relay?
Yeah, I probably need a relay for that.
Yeah, I can hear him fine.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's just not making it across the river.
No, I can just barely hear you. I think I probably got the thing too high.
No. It should be able to do. I mean, I'm copying you fine. But he's not copying me, I don't think, very well.
Yeah, hey, Paul says he's copying you fine, Danny.
Yeah, I sure can. I can just barely hear him, and that's it.
Well, that'll be the difference. It's explain. Tell him it's because I'm vertical and he's horizontal. That would probably explain most of it.
Yeah, Paul says it's probably the polarization of the antenna. He's using, I think, horizontal polarization. Are you using vertical?
Yeah, I put it vertical. I thought maybe it would be a little better. Let me switch this to there.
Yeah, I'm using vertical too. Yeah, I'm where we live. I live by New Shackle in Maine. I'm real close to you. I'm your neighbor pretty much.
Yeah, well, we're both vertical. It's just that his is. I'm not sure why the difference is. He can't hear me. That's odd.
Yeah, try that again. See if Paul can hear you, buddy.
I switched over to horizontal dipole. Is that any better?
No, I still can copy it. It might be just a little worse, but the vertical, you should be able to hear me good on actually either one, I think.
I can hear you a lot better on the dipole.
Ah, very good, very good. Well, we're doing fine then. We're really doing fine. All right, that was Kilo Quebec 4, Quebec. Get that right. Kilo Quebec 4. Hold on, I'll get it straight here. Oscar Mike India. Very good. Oscar Mike India, and that's in Hendersonville. Anybody else? Well, very good. We ended up with 9 on 70 centimeters and 9 on 10 meters, which is not always hitting the money there. And 18. See, it's multiples of 9 tonight. See what we get over there in 223.415, because that's where we're going next. 223.415. We'll see you then, and appreciate everybody checking in. K4PW. Closing out the regular
Yeah, you still there, Danny?
Yeah, and I don't have 220.
I don't have 220 either. I like to diss on it, but actually I'm jealous. I want it.
I thought I had a radio with it, but I sure don't.
Yeah, and you have to kind of, get it's just not that common of a band.